Hi guys, thank you for joining me, and in today's video I would like to take a look at these amazing guitars. Just look at them. This is a sight to behold, or a family photo actually. Well, I would like to take a look at 4 of the Gibson Slash Les Pauls and a couple of the Epiphones. So what do we have? We have the Gibson Vermillion Burst, the Anaconda Burst, the Vermillion, and the Epitite Burst, and a couple of the Epiphones, which is the Anaconda and the Epitite Burst. So when you look at this, you have to think, who would be such a madman as to put together such a collection? So it's time to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is me. And what you're looking at with the Gibsons is the result of the better part of 2 years of finding the most spectacular, the most beautiful looking tops of each colorway, and each guitar has been picked from at least 5 or 6 guitars of the same colorway with the most interesting, most vibrant top. So when you will look at these guitars in detail, you will see what I mean. So I want to look at each individual guitar on the workbench and then play each guitar and then come back with some conclusions. So in order to not make this video 2 hours long, let's get straight to it. All right, here's the first one, the Epitite. The Epitite Burst, look at her. Man, this top is so gorgeous. As I said, it took me quite a while to find the best ones, and yeah, these are definitely the best ones that I could find. So you have a wonderful flame combined with the mineral streaks. Amazing top. So here's a quick look inside the Epitite Burst. The first cavity we have the AP for Epitite. In the second cavity we have LP. Is that 5500 or SSOO? And the SS of course stands for Slash Signature. Now let's take a look at our pickups. Now this is quite interesting. These are labeled custom Burstbucker Alnico 2s for the rhythm and for the lead. If you remember back to Trogley's teardown, these used to be labeled Slashbuckers. So apparently since the initial run they have dropped Slash's name from the pickup designation. And we have a standard ABR1 bridge, Gibson branded, and for the stop tail we have an API branded stop tail. So nothing fancy here. Let's move on to the pickup readings. So we have 8.32 for the rhythm, and we have 8.66 for the bridge, and in the middle, 4.24. So the truss rod is looking good. The route is looking really good. Let's also not forget the weight of these guitars. So this one weighs in at 4.2 kg. The wires from the pickups with 4 leads, orange drop caps. And here's our back of the headstock with the serial and the Made in USA stamp. All right, let's move on. So here is number 2. Now take a look at this gorgeous top. As I said, you know, these are all supposed to be AAA flame tops, but look at this. So you got, I don't know how this translates into the camera, but this top is really alive. I mean, you get it from all angles. From all angles you get something. So you get the really narrow flame, which I'm a huge fan of. And you also get these mineral streaks that you typically see on the 58s. I think this, I mean, okay, before we go further, look at this and look at this. And yeah, if you're wondering why I have this here, well, let me just start by saying I didn't do it. It came this way. And the story with this guitar is, so one day I got a call from my local Gibson dealer saying, well, they got a fresh shipment of Slash Signature November Bursts. They knew that I was on the lookout for this one because I was missing it. And I rush over there and they bring out the boxes and they are unboxing them. And yeah, well, this one already came like that from the factory. The craziest thing is, I did not even notice it at first, because your brain is so used to seeing a Les Paul with the pickguard on that your brain doesn't even register that something is wrong. And it was only until I started A-Bing them when I was like, oh, wait a second, something's wrong with this one. And well, of course, we looked at the baby picture inside the case. Sure enough, it's without the pickguard. So the pickguard came on sometime after the baby picture was taken and before it was shipped out to the dealer. So I was hesitant to pick it up, but since it had the most spectacular top of the whole bunch, it ended up going home with me. In case you wondered what a beautiful AAA flame top November Burst slash signature Gibson would look like with the pickguard on, wait no longer, because I'm going to show it to you. So here we go. All right, so here we are. The pickguard is on. So what do you think? Pickguard on or pickguard off? I have to say that for my part, the Les Paul aesthetic with the pickguard is so ingrained in my brain that I have to think back to the exact moment when I first saw this one in the shop, sitting on its stand with the pickguard on, and your brain literally does not register something is wrong unless you really A/B this against another slash signature, and you realize, oh yeah, these are supposed to be without the pickguards. But other than that, yeah, I kind of have to say, yeah, if this wasn't the slash signature, I would dig the vibe. Knowing that it's a slash signature and it should be without one, I'm like, yeah, I'd probably take it off, but whatever. Anyway, let's move on. Let's put her on the scale and look at the insides, and let's look at the back as well. All right, here we are inside the November Burst. So the neck pickup cavity, no writing with the color, or at least none that I can see. It's pretty dark in here. And the bridge pickup cavity with the LP slash signature 00. Our pickups, we got the Rhythm Burst Bucker Alnico 2 and the Lead Custom Burst Bucker Alnico 2, our Gibson ABR 1, and the Advanced Plating Stop Tail. Now let's take a look at the pickup readings. 8.23 for the neck, 8.56 for the bridge, 4.18, 19. Come on, decide. 18. Whatever. In the middle. Now let's take a look at the truss rod. All right, here we are. Looking at the truss rod cavity, all looking good. Quick look inside the control cavity, Gibson branded pots, orange drop caps, 4-lead pickups, so you could do push-pull if you wanted. And here's the back of the guitar with the serial stamp and Made in USA stamp. In terms of weight, she's 4 kg on the nose. All right, here's number 3, the Anaconda. I have to say, this is a very strong contender for my favorite of the bunch. I mean, look at it. This top really moves. It's really alive, and it really is evocative of the snake, of the green, of the flame. I mean, this is just so unique, so very unique. And again, I picked this one from a bunch of Anacondas, and this one looked the best. All right, and here we have an inside look at the Anaconda. So first, the neck cavity. It says DA, interesting. LP slash signature 00. All right. Now we have the same story. Rhythm Custom Burst Bucker and Lead Custom Burst Bucker Alnico 2. The Gibson branded, be careful with this, the Gibson branded ABR 1 and the advanced plating advanced plating stop tail. Let's take a look at the pickup readings. So we're reading 8.33 in the neck. We're reading 8.55 in the bridge. And we're reading 4.21 in the middle. Truss rod looking good. And the cavity is real nice with the paint job. Same story as before. Gibson branded pots, orange drop caps for the pickup wires. And here's our serial number spelled with a C, and the Made in USA stamp. And the weight on this puppy clocks in at 4.4 kg. All right, and last but not least, the Vermillion. Well, again, for me, this is a very strong contender for my favorite of the bunch. For me, it's between the green and the blue, the green and the red here. I mean, just look at this gorgeous top. Come on. I mean, these narrow flames, the chevron-shaped book matching, the mineral streaks between. I don't know how that translates, but this top is alive. It really is. It does something from every angle that you look at it. I don't know how that translates into the camera, but in real life, this is nothing short of spectacular. All right, so let's take a look inside. And here's a look inside the Vermillion. So the neck pickup cavity reads VM for Vermillion and the familiar Les Paul Slash signature 00. For the pickups, we have our classic Rhythm Custom BBAL2 and the Lead Custom Burst Booker Alnico 2. We got our standard, typical Gibson branded, right side up, Gibson branded ABR 1, and the advanced plating tailpiece. The truss rod cavity looking good with the truss rod looking good. So let's turn her around and put her on the scale. And here we have the control cavity of the Vermillion again. Gibson branded pots, 4 elite pickup wires and orange drop caps. And let's look at the back of the headstock. Made in USA stamp and the serial. And finally, let's take a look at our pickup readings. So in the neck, we have 8.3. In the bridge, we have 8.64. And in the middle, we have 4.22. All right, and here we have our first Epi. So this is the Epiphone Appetite Burst. It's a veneer top on a full thickness maple cap. And right off the bat, I can tell you that under these bright light conditions that I have here, it's quite a big difference compared to what we saw with the Gibsons. So although this is technically, in quote unquote, a natural finish, the veneer on a full thickness maple cap, wait, hang on. I can show you a piece of veneer I have right here. This is a piece of veneer. So it's a thin piece of wood that can be it's about this thick. It can be glued on top of the maple cap like so to give the visual appearance that is not there. But even though they take the natural veneer and put it on top, it just lacks the, I don't know, it lacks the movement, the depth that we have seen with the Gibson. I don't know how that translates over to the camera, but in person, there's definitely a major difference compared to what we've seen on the Gibsons and what we see now. Now, also the color. This one is a much brighter tone of yellow. It is way louder. It is way brighter compared to the, I would say, the classy look of the Gibson Appetite. And this one just looks cheaper. It's just trying too hard is what I'm trying to say. So to sum it up, the top is less visually striking, there's less depth, there's less flaming, there's less depth in the movement, and the color is trying to make up for it as if trying to make up for it with its loudness and with it being so much in your face that it looks a little bit cheap. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful guitar. However, compared to the Gibson, this is something that's apparent. All right, here we are inside the Epiphone. All right, so let's take a look inside the cavity. So we should see a full-size maple cap with a veneer on top. So let's look for the cap. Inside the first cavity, we have a 1 and a 7. And from this angle, yeah, you can see the cap and the mahogany right there. You get a much better look at this here. So you can clearly see the dividing line between the mahogany and the maple cap. It's a full thickness carved maple top with a veneer on top. Here's I put the flashlight away. Here we have the Epiphone model designation sticker. Here we have the Epiphone branded custom bucker pros, which should be replicas. They're also Anaconda 2s, and they should be replicas of the custom burst bucker Anaconda 2s in the Slash Gibson signature. So I'm really curious to see how they sound and how they compare to the Gibson ones. And for the bridge, we have the Epiphone branded ABR1 with a wire, and we have an Epiphone branded aluminum stop tail right here. Okay, let's take a look at the pickup readings. So in the neck position, 8.09, so lower output. And now let's take a look at the bridge pickup, reading 8.57, and the middle 4.16. And inside the Epiphone control cavity, we have large alpha pods, we have quick connects, and we have orange drop caps. This bad boy weighs an impressive 3.7 kg. Wow. All right. Let's take a look at the Anaconda. All right, and finally, the last one, the Epiphone in Anaconda Burst. Well, what do you think? You be the judge. Okay, I'll tell you what I think. Same applies as with the Appetite Burst. This is a great looking guitar by any stretch of the imagination. Fine guitar, fine looking guitar. However, in comparison to the Gibson, having had the Gibson right next to it and being able to A/B them, the Gibson just outclasses this in terms of the visuals. So, okay, the stating the obvious, the black perimeter is much thicker on this one. Here we have the tear-shaped burst area. The green is much more in your face. It's much more loud. It screams much more, as opposed to the elegance and the slickness on the Gibson. So yeah. Also regarding the veneer, I know it's a veneer top, but so it should have less depth, should be less visually striking, and it is. I mean, look at it. It's definitely doesn't have the flaming or the streaking, nor the depth nor the movement that the Gibson has. So there's just no comparison in terms of the visuals. But this is a fine looking guitar in its own right. I give it that. All right. Since this guitar has already been spoken for, there's no need to tear it down. However, I'm really curious to see the readings on the pickups, because I'm really interested in seeing consistency. So let's take a look at the pickup readings. So the neck is reading 8.8, consistent with the previous one. However, lower output than on the Gibson ones. On the bridge we have 8.65, again consistent with what we had before, and in the middle we have 4.17. All right, so that's pretty much it for this one. Let's put it on the scale. I'm really curious also to see the weight on this one, because the previous one, the weight clocked in at around 3.7, so well under 4 kg. On the website, on the specs, and in the reviews that I've seen, there is no mention of chambering. And I'm really hard pressed to believe that you can achieve sub 4 kg, significantly sub 4 kg, so something in the 3.7, 3.8 range without chambering. So with a full thickness, unchambered mahogany guitar with a full maple cap on it. Let's see the weight. So the weight on this puppy clocks in at 3.85. Yeah, so well under 4 kg. Very impressive. Well, that was quite a feat, taking 6 guitars apart, putting them back together, tuning them up, setting them up, and re-intonating them for the sound demos. Well, speaking of the sound demos, we will be going through, well, there's no other option than to go through the Marshall JCM 2550, which is Slash's favorite amp, and through the matching 4x12 cab. This is the Jubilee edition. It's equipped with Celestion V30s. I'll be going only on the lead channel. There's no point in going through the cleans. I mean, who in the world is getting these guitars to explore the sparkly cleans on them or to play jazz on them? So we will only be going through the lead channel, and I'll be doing something similar to what Rhett Scholl did with his short when he went with single riff through 8 different amps. So this will be same riff going through, played on 6 different guitars into the same amp with the same settings, and hopefully that will allow us to glean the commonalities and the differences between these 6 guitars. So for the tone demos, I've decided on 2 things. I will be using Rhett Scholl's riff that he used in the single riff through 8 amps video. And second of all, there will be no Slash riffs because there's just too much Slash for one video here. We got Gibson Slash, we got Epiphone Slash guitars, Gibson Slash guitars, Slash buckers, Slash picks, Slash pick guards, Slash scullies, Slash amp, Slash cabinet. Everything is Slash, and that is just way too much Slash for one video. So there will be no Slash riffs in the entire tone demo. So let's roll. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. In this epic, and I would say even epiphonic battle, what guitar came out on top in your opinion? Please do let me know in the comments below. If you are enjoying what you're watching, please make sure to hit the like button. And if you don't like something, please do let me know as well, because your feedback is tremendously important for a small channel like me. So, without further ado, I will tell you my conclusions about this comparison. I will focus on the looks, the feel, the sound, the weight, the consistency, and the prices of these guitars. So, looks first. Here, to me, it is a night and day difference. Now, let me make this very clear. The Epiphones are beautiful guitars in their own right, and unless, and really it is only with the exception of this one case, and that is if in the same moment you're looking at the Epiphone and the Gibson in the same color, you will be able to say, all right, there's a pretty big difference. Other than that, no. So again, the Epis, beautiful guitars in their own right. However, the Gibsons in a direct head-to-head A-B type situation just outclassed the Epis, and it is a night and day difference. Go look at the footage. Your opinion may vary. If it is different, do let me know in the comments below. All right, in terms of feel, I'm not afraid to admit it. I am a Gibson fanboy. I just love the way a Gibson plays. In this category, however, I have to also give huge props to Epiphone because their guitars feel and play amazing. There's just something about a Gibson that, you know, maybe it's psychosomatic. I'm just used to playing Gibsons a lot and I love the feel of the Gibson. However, the Epis are absolutely there. You get a great feeling guitar. Moving on with the sound. Now, from the sound comparison, to my ears, the pickups on the Epis sound a little bit more anemic, if you will. However, you are in the same ballpark. You are getting the same type of sound signature. You're getting the same Alnico magnet in the pickups. And with a bit of EQing and gain staging, you will be able to match the sound without any problem. And in the context of a mix, it's not even a question that you are in the same Slash sound signature ballpark that you want to be in. So that's that. Regarding the weight, I have to say I haven't seen anything about weight relieving or chambering in the specs of the Epis, neither on the Gibson website or the Epiphone website or any other retailer websites. However, getting significantly and consistently below 4 kilograms is just, in my opinion, it is impossible without weight relieving. So I'm guessing, my guess is the Epiphones are weight relief. Consistency would prove me right because I have been able to weigh a number of Epis. They all weigh under 4 kilograms and I'm just thinking they're weight relief. Regarding the Gibsons, they are around about the 4 kilogram ballpark, which is a great way for a fully, for a non-weight relieved Gibson. In terms of the consistency, here again, props to both brands, to both guitars. They seem to be very consistent in terms of pickup output and sound. Both the Epis and the Gibsons, in terms of the craftsmanship, the color, they seem to be very consistent, which is something that I always appreciate. And last but not least, the price. Again, you can't beat the Epiphones. So for under 1,000 euros or $1,000, you're getting really into the ballpark of the Slash signature. However, on the other hand, I have to give props to Gibson because I think these are premium products, premium guitars, where you are paying very reasonable dollar to get a really premium product. Especially on these guitars that I was able to sample, there's nothing wrong with them in terms of craftsmanship, in terms of the premium feel, the premium quality of the wood, and the finishing. I mean, they're just screaming elegance, and they are just, you know, in a class of their own. So for me, it is the vote goes to the Gibson, and my favorite is probably the Vermillion. All right, well, if these are still for sale, the links are below to the Reverb and eBay, or you can hit me up direct at my email address below. And again, if you like this video, please make sure to like the video and let me know in the comments what your favorite is. Have you ever owned any of these guitars or any other Slash signature? What has been your experience? Do let me know, and please make sure to join me for the next one. Peace out.